our 21-day purification program. And this is something that I've been doing in the office probably, I think I've got notes going back to like 2011. So this has been something that we've had in the office for a while, and it has really kind of transformed how we do things. But standard process has also really come a long ways as far as how they can help assist with people seeing success with this program. So a lot has changed since we first started using it in the office back in 2011. So some of the reasons that people may want to do this 21-day purification program, if they're tired, maybe there's weight loss challenges, maybe there's some poor digestion. We're talking about purifying your body and transforming your life. Now, in the email that I had sent out, if you received an email, we had sent out an email on Monday morning. Most of the time, our weekly emails come out usually Monday mornings. And in that email, when we were talking about our Cyber Monday sale, this purification program, there's a link on our website. And if you go under the nutrition tab on our website and down to the 21-day purification program, you can read a little bit more information about that program. But then we've also created a few links there. So there's one that talks about some research, an article about the benefits of this program and how it's actually tied to heart health, can help improve some of the heart health. So a lot of benefits by doing this purification for that. But then there's also a toxicity questionnaire. So you can really take a look at that, and that form, that links you right to the Standard Process website, and you can actually do that toxicity questionnaire right online. So you can really see, you know, what have you been exposed to over the years. It's not just all diet. Sometimes can be a multitude of other things that can come into play. So again, this purification program is there to purify your body and transform your life. So as we're doing this, we really want to kind of reset those habits and re-engage that healthy lifestyle. So when we're resetting those habits, we're looking at, of course, the diet. What are you eating and what are you drinking? So are there the fried foods? Do you have the trans fats? Do you have lots of sugar? Do you have lots of sugary drinks? A lot of coffee? What does your typical diet, including the liquids, look like? But then re-engaging that healthy lifestyle. So if somebody is a smoker, it's recommended that, you know, obviously as we're starting to engage a healthy lifestyle, that we really cut back on that smoking for a number of reasons. So that's definitely one thing to cut back on and really work with. Now we've got, you know, ideally when people are doing this program, you know, in an ideal situation, that they eliminate smoking for 21 days. Now, my father is, and actually still is, a smoker, and so I know how hard that is to totally give up. So, but we ask that you really do what you can if somebody is a smoker to, you know, really smoke less, especially during the 21 days if you're at all able to. So, you know, again, in an ideal situation, those that are smoking ideally are not going to do that for 21 days, but I know how hard it is to, you know, cut back like cold turkey. Because some people, you know, might be doing a pack or more a day. So it kind of depends on where people are at, but we really encourage that while you're doing the 21 days, for sure, try to cut back on the cigarettes and stuff too, because that, again, is another toxic load to your body. So cosmetics as well. So this is obviously a big thing and can be a big source of, you know, toxins that are being put into the body. So we recently, just last week, did a webinar on skincare and Young Living, now that we carry in the office. One of our product lines has some skincare products that are a much healthier option to the body. So definitely something to think about too. So as we are starting to purify, and we really want to support those natural detoxifying processes. And so we really want to move those toxins out of the body. So our environment, though cleaner in the past, if you think back 50 years ago, it was probably still, it was a lot cleaner than it is now, but there were still some things that we were probably exposed to. So we're talking some of those volatile chemicals, some of those fire retardants, the BPA. So think of like a lot of plastic bottles and those perfluorinated chemicals. So again, these are in so many different things that we can be exposed to. Now, for those of you on this webinar tonight that are currently working with me as a nutrition patient, this is the kind of stuff that would possibly show up as a stressor, some of those chemicals, maybe some of those metals or something too that your body's exposed to. So stress, poor diet, and lack of exercise can also lead to your body not doing like what it's supposed to. So that fatigue, maybe it's the difficulty sleeping, and when we're talking that difficulty sleeping, this can be problems falling asleep. We've got people where they put their head on the pillow and their mind is like racing 100 miles an hour. That body's, if you've heard me talk about this before, that body's in that fight or flight emergency mode, and it's not going to let you sleep. But some of these people, then they're tossing and turning all night, and then they wake up exhausted. So sometimes digestion, those GI problems, so this can be the heartburn, constipation, the bloating, the diarrhea. It can be a whole cohort of different things that are going on. And then, of course, the food cravings and the weight gain. So we're just coming off of a food holiday, which technically I think every holiday that we have in the US for sure seems to revolve around food, but obviously Thanksgiving is a huge food holiday. And so those food cravings and the weight gain is part of the reason that we are doing this, promoting this 21-day purification program right now, to try to kind of reset some of those habits before we get into Christmas again. And so kind of start your New Year's resolutions early by doing this program. So, and oftentimes when people are doing this, if their diet is out of balance, there's a lot of stress, there's not a lot of exercise, the mental clarity that they have can be greatly reduced, and it can also affect your libido or your sex drive. So these are all things that can kind of tie into play, and these are very common situations, conditions that people are coming into the office with, especially on the nutrition side of the business. So what internal organs assist in purification, and how do they help with that? So the liver. And the liver, if you're looking at this picture here, is the big thing colored in purple, not the little thing, but it's the bigger thing colored in purple. And
I have Zoom on my phone. I thought I did.
All right, hold on. I'm going to unmute somebody or mute somebody there. And so let me back up here. All right, so the liver, when we're talking about the liver, filters the toxins. It's going to aid the body in metabolizing those fats, those proteins, those carbohydrates. So those are what we call the macros, if you've ever heard that term before. And so that's part of the function of the liver. But it also is going to help transform those toxins into harmless agents. And you really need that liver to work like it's supposed to move those toxins in and out of the body. And then you have the kidneys. So the kidneys are a filter that are going to be there to kind of filter out the waste and any excess fluid from the blood. So the kidneys are also there to kind of regulate and release the right amount of balance of sodium, phosphorus, and potassium for the body to function like it's supposed to. Now, you also have the small intestine assisting in the purification. So the small intestine is very helpful because it's going to be there to help you digest foods, that the nutrients can be absorbed into the blood and transported to the liver. And the small intestine also provides a barrier that blocks toxins from the rest of the body. And so very important part. So as your body is detoxing, you want to kind of protect, obviously you want to protect as many areas as we can from those toxins. Now, the large intestine, this is going to actually absorb water and electrolytes, and this is where your waste is formed. And so when you're moving these toxins through, you go through a couple phases of detox in the liver to kind of move those toxins through. And then they're going to move down from the liver, move into the small intestine, which is the green area if you're looking at the slides here. And then the large intestine is the pink area. So, and then the large intestine also produces the antibodies for our gut health. Now, last night we're doing a topic on immune and optimizing your immune system, and 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So the health of our gut basically determines the health of the rest of the body, including our mind. And so I've seen a number of studies that have linked not just things like autism and that type of thing, but even mental health issues and sometimes even autoimmune issues to a very unhealthy gut. So if we can work at kind of restoring some of that gut and cleaning that up in the process can be huge. So the large intestine also contains some bacterium that create those fatty acids and some minerals or vitamins for more additional nutritional support that our body may need. So, but again, this next slide here, it talks about the liver being our primary organ of detoxifying. And as you look at this, there's a lot on this slide here, and it's a little bit more, it would be a little bit bigger deal and stuff, but basically the liver is there to kind of help detoxify those organs. And if you're looking at this slide, you see phase 1, and there's certain enzymes in phase 1, and then you see phase 2. So you've got a couple different phases within the liver, and these 2 phases are so important because these 2 phases need to be working like they're supposed to move those toxins, basically toxic metabolites through the body so that we can actually excrete it through the bowels, possibly through the urine. And so on this slide here, we talk about sometimes some of the different enzymes that are needed for some of those different phases. Because sometimes what can happen is if we don't have enough of these coming from dietary sources and our liver's not working right, they may move through phase 1, but then those toxins don't move to phase 2 so they can be excreted out in the body. And so one of the things that can happen is that our body is going to hold on to those toxins. Now, one of the ways that the body does this is it's going to store those toxins in fat cells. And I know this sounds totally crazy and bizarre, but if you go back to some of your basic science classes, you remember how the whole way that they would talk about dilution. So in this case, when we're talking about the cell storing a fat cell storing a toxin, to make that toxin less concentrated in the body's super smart. It's going to retain water to make that toxin less toxic to the body. And so hence, when somebody is doing one of these purifications programs, it's not surprising that sometimes on average, people are losing between 6, 10, 12 pounds just over those 21 days doing this detoxifying purification program. And some of that is because they are losing that water weight where those from those fat cells that are storing those toxins. So they're not just, they're now able to actually get rid of some of those toxins, but you're getting rid of some of that water weight that's storing those toxins too, because your body's super smart and it's going to make those toxins less toxic by diluting and retaining water. So a big thing is super important here. So again, if you're looking at this slide, if you have the slides, there's a few different enzymes and different things that are needed for phase 1 versus phase 2, like some of your B vitamins, more for phase 1, your glutathione, some of your amino acids, phospholipids, those are going to be needed for phase 1. Then phase 2 is more where the sulfonation, you have the glutathione conjugation, some of that other stuff is going to occur, but you really need some of those other vitamins and minerals and enzymes in your body to make that transition from phase 1 to phase 2. So that's where this purification program is so helpful. So, the next slide here is their dietary choices are major contributions to our overall health and weight. So what do we have as far as additives to our food? You know, when we look at the grocery stores now to what the grocery stores were 50, 60 years ago, it is a huge difference. I mean, my grandparents and probably even my parents grew up in a time when the grocery stores were probably the size, but maybe even smaller than Quick Trips, some of our gas stations. And now the grocery stores are absolutely enormous, and there's a lot of packaged processed food that exists in those stores. And so, but then we also look at the sugar sweetened drinks. So just yesterday there was something buzzing around the internet that was talking about sugar. And as you know, I've done multiple sugar talks throughout Rice County and elsewhere in the city and everything. But there was an article floating around yesterday that was talking about how basically the FDA had covered up how bad the effects of sugar were related to heart health and, you know, leading to heart problems, heart disease, all of that stuff. And they've been covering that up since the 1960s. So, which, you know, doesn't surprise me. And if you've heard my sugar talk, it probably doesn't surprise you either. But again, it's, you know, a little scary that even the FDA, because they're, again, controlled by the Food and Drug Administration, would let that slide for that many years before they kind of unveil the truth. So another contributing factor to your overall health and weight are the healthy fats, or the unhealthy fats. So where are you getting some of those? Are those your fried foods? So in the picture here, it shows a picture of more like a fast food burger. You've got your fries and some of that stuff. So there's really some unhealthy fats. But then those empty calories. So the picture on the slide shows with the cookie jar, with the cookies in it. And so those can be thinking of a lot of your pastries, your baked goods. But for some people, this can even be the pastas. This can also be, you know, donuts, whatever it may be. So there can be a lot of sources of empty calories that we could be consuming as well. Now, this next slide here says vegetarian to paleo to gluten-free, or SAD. So if you don't know what SAD is, that is the acronym for Standard American Diet, which truly is sad. But typically what we're looking at is that on a whole, we really need to kind of cut back on not just, a lot of times it's the amount of food that we're eating. So oftentimes our vegetable intake is lower than what it should be. So on this slide we have that oftentimes it's 87% below our goal. And the fruits is kind of oftentimes 75% below. And, you know, even total grains are different, dairy. So oftentimes we're way out of balance with what we're supposed to be consuming. But then you look at something like the added sugars, and oftentimes a lot of people are going to be like 70% over their limit of sugar. And same with the salt. So there's a lot of different things that people are consuming way too much of. And that really puts a burden on those internal organs in the body. So this slide here, these next few slides here show how some of the obesity trends in the U.S. So this first one looks at the obesity trends going back to 1985. And so what we're looking at with obesity is those people with a BMI, that body mass index, over 30. So they're maybe about 30 pounds overweight. And there was just a handful of states, 2, 4, 6, 8 states out of our 50 states that had some obesity between the 10 and 14% of their population. So, and that was in 1985. In 1990, so only 5 years later, this more than triples the amount of states. So we had, what, 8 states. This pretty much triples the amount of obesity in just a matter of 5 years, where that BMI is over 30. Then we go another 5 years to 1995, and what's interesting here is that they have to actually add a new category to those obesity trends. So not just are people more than 10% over, 10 to 14% over their average weight, they have to add a new category, because now 15 to 19% are categorized in that obese area. And we go another 5 years, and again, they have to add another category where over 20% of that population is obese. So these graphs, tell a lot, and then we skip. So in 2000, they have obesity trends showing the different populations, where a chunk of the population is over 20% is obese. And between 2000 and 2005, they have to add another 2 categories, where over 30% of a state's population is obese. And so, I mean, it is absolutely astonishing how fast and how big people are getting when it comes to their weight. And again, it keeps growing. In 2010, the number of population within the U.S. In adults that are obese, and so that's as far back as this goes. So remember, I started teaching this in 2011, so that's probably part of the reason that chart's a little outdated. But this next slide here talks about the toxicity questionnaire to help you evaluate your exposure. So this is a form we have. We have the link in our email that went out on Monday, and it's also on our website. So if you were to go to our website and you go to humphill.com, and under the nutrition tab, you're going to look at the purification program, and you're going to scroll down, and there's going to be like 3 different links there. So one is the research article, one is the toxicity questionnaire, and I think I might have even linked like the big cookbook or something like that. So I think I put 3 links there. So you can actually do this toxicity questionnaire right from our website. Otherwise, we have the paper version available in the office as well. So, but this can kind of give you an idea of, and I encourage you guys to do this at the start of your 21 days, and then we can repeat it again at the end of it too. Now, another thing to also do if you're doing the purification is to kind of get, now in your guide, there's a little guidebook that comes with each kit, and most of you are probably already food journaling anyway, but it's probably helpful to still write symptoms if you're having any symptoms in that journal, but then also do like a starting weight and an ending weight. So that's kind of fun too, to kind of see the progress as well. So in the 21 days, you can do a lot for your body. So you're going to support the body's natural detoxifying pathways. You're going to maintain a consistent, healthy weight. Begin a healthier lifestyle, again, before Christmas. We can do this before the new year. You're going to have more energy and improve your digestion. So again, research points to success. And so this study here looks at the 28 patients that strengthened with the calorie-restricted whole food diet, and they improved their serum lipid levels and also improved their weight doing this program. So again, I think this is the same one that we linked on my website. So these are the products of the purification program. You have the SP Cleanse, the SP Complete. There's also the dairy-free option. There's also the veggie option now. So we've got many different shake options to choose from. You have the gastro fiber or the whole food fiber, and you have the SP Green Food. So we're going to go through each of these products, kind of what they do and how they're used. So the SP Cleanse, this is a whole food combines 20 unique whole food and botanical ingredients. So this is going to be there to support the kidney, the liver, and gallbladder function. And it also encourages healthy digestive function. So working on helping the body with the detox, so the toxin elimination function and the healthy elimination. So one of the things that sometimes people are a little worried about when they're doing any kind of purification or cleanse, they're like, am I going to be in the toilet or in the bathroom all the time? And to be honest, that's really not the case. I don't know that I have ever really heard anybody comment about that. So that's usually not a problem for most people. So some of the key ingredients in the SP cleanse is juniper berry. So this is more like a natural diuretic. You also have the red clover flower. So this is used to cleanse, promote cleansing of the blood. You have some apple pectin for some fiber. You have the burdock root for those farmers of you out there. And that's going to actually be helping promote healthy kidney function. And then you have your barley grass. So a naturally occurring form of your vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients like beta-carotene. A couple other ingredients here. You have some Spanish black radish in the SP cleanse. So if you've been on that product by itself, you know how wonderful that smells. I'm just joking on the smell. So, but it is really a really good product. But I know it doesn't have the most pleasant smell. So don't worry, in the cleanse, it's in a capsule form. Then you have the Oregon grape root, and this is there to support the normal bowel transit, also support the immune system action, and even help the skin. Then you also have some fenugreek, and this is more for metabolizing the cholesterol. Now you have the shakes. So this is the SP Complete or the dairy-free. And now we even have the veggie version, chocolate and vanilla. So again, going back to 2011, we had the SP Complete. They didn't even have the dairy-free way back then. So this was our only option. So we've got a few more options that they've come out with. So they've come a long ways. So this is essential whole food nutrition in a powder form. So this is where you're going to get your amino acids. This is going to be there to help support the intestine, the muscles, and the immune. Then it also has some antioxidant activity, supports the healthy liver function. And also, this is what's got the key ingredients in here, and we're going to get to those in a minute, to help get those toxins eliminated from the body. And it's also actually an important one that supports the maintenance of that healthy weight when you combine it with a healthy lifestyle. So again, the chocolate and the vanilla for the SP Complete, basically the same type of things that we just talked about. And now the two new versions, they're not even in here, but again, the veggie and you have the veggie and chocolate and vanilla. So the veggie, chocolate, and vanilla, a couple different recipe ingredients in those. You don't have the whey. You also don't have the rice flour in those either. So some different ones. So with the SP Complete, the regular has the whey in it. The dairy-free is going to be more of a rice protein. It also has the barley grass, so that protein is what we need to provide those amino acids, those building blocks, and help support that muscle tissue maintenance. So the SP Complete also has the barley grass in there, and it has some buckwheat and flax for the fiber to help support that elimination. It also has some alfalfa to help digestion, and it even has calcium and magnesium, so assisting in keeping the bones and those teeth strong. So grape seed and red wine extracts. So you're getting some cardiovascular and antioxidant supports from that. You also have, again, the buckwheats for circulation, choline and inositol for nerve and brain function. So these are really, really great products. Now, I will tell you, because if you were to get the SP Complete, and I think even the dairy-free version, and possibly the chocolate and vanilla too, not the veggie versions, but you also are going to find some kale and Brussels sprouts in there, and those cruciferous vegetables are a great resource to kind of move things through the body from that phase 1, from that phase 2 to the phase 2 detox in the liver. So if you're reading the labels, you might see some of that in there, but those are obviously great foods for you. So then you also have the green food. So this contains 5 whole food ingredients. This is going to be there to help promote that healthy liver function, provide those antioxidants, and support that overall cellular health. It also provides some of those phytonutrients in the body, supports the cholesterol metabolism that's maybe even within a normal range, and even supports the body's normal toxin elimination. So we want to make sure that your body is moving these toxins out like they're supposed to. So there's some of the key ingredients in the green food. Here are your Brussels sprouts and kale as well. So it can show up in the shake, but you also get it in the green food. So this is, again, the Brussels sprouts and the kale are going to help support the cholesterol metabolism when already within a normal range, and the antioxidant activity. So then you also have buckwheat. And again, that's there for helping support the muscle health and even making sure that we are full. Then you have the barley grass, which is a whole food complex ingredient, and this is going to help provide the antioxidant activity along with a host of nutritive factors. And then the alfalfa, and that's there for the bladder and kidney, and again helping eliminate those toxins from the body. Then you have the gastrofiber or the whole food fiber. So the gastrofiber comes as a capsule, and the whole food fiber is a powder. So if you were to do the whole food fiber, you're going to add, I think, about a tablespoon to your shakes. And if you are doing the gastrofiber is going to be capsules. And we're going to go through the amount of everything here, I think, in a few slides. But the gastrofiber, so with these, I mean, it really helps support that healthy elimination, promote that healthy gut, and it even supports maintaining that healthy lipid and blood glucose levels back within the normal range. Now, sometimes people are like, well, which one is better? Which one should I be doing? I will tell you that with the gastrofiber, you do need to take a number of capsules throughout the 21 days. So sometimes if people have difficulty swallowing, this could eliminate some of those capsules. Now, the whole food fiber, on the other hand, though, can change the taste of your shake a bit, because and we're going to talk about it here in a minute, but there's kind of beets in the powder. And so for some people, that's like totally not something they want in their even chocolate shake. And so then again, you have to be a little bit more hopefully open to taking the capsules versus the fiber. I mean, I can do either or, but sometimes people, don't want to mess with the taste of their shake, and I totally understand. So these are some other supportive products that occasionally people are doing. So the tuna omega, maybe it's the whey pro complete, or the calamari omega liquid. So the whey pro complete is another thing that's going to supply protein for the muscles and colostrum and inulin, working with the gut and stuff. So that is something that sometimes people add. These are products that are not part of the traditional kit, but sometimes people want to add these in. Now, if you're currently on a nutrition program, oftentimes if I'm working with you, we can, do this program, and maybe you don't need as many products while you're doing it. And sometimes you don't even need the same amount of products when you finish it if you were on a large number of products before doing this supplements type of thing in the office. So we can kind of work with you and kind of tweak your current program if you're already working with me, and to see exactly what your body is asking for with the purification program, in addition to what you are already doing for supplements. So some of these might already be supplements that you're currently taking, and obviously your tuna omega and your calamari, which we don't carry the liquid in the office right now, but definitely can if someone requests it. But most times people like it in a tablet or a capsule or a gel cap. Genema might be another one that somebody may have added to the program, and this is an herb that helps regulate the blood sugar levels and kind of keep things within that normal range. Now, so Genema comes as a tablet, but we can also get it in the liquid version. Now, a little funny story, when I was first introduced to Genema a number of years ago, I tried the liquid version of it, and which is a little bit more fast acting than the tablet. And what's interesting is if you try something sweet, let's say cookie dough, and then you take a little bit of the liquid Genema or even a tablet, and if it's a tablet, you're going to suck on it for a little bit and then actually swallow the tablet, and then I want you to taste your cookie dough again. Now, if you do this with the liquid version, you would eat the cookie dough, take a little bit of the liquid Genema, leave it in your mouth for a little bit, and then swallow the Genema, and then try the cookie dough again. And in most cases, that cookie dough is not going to taste as sweet as it did before the Genema. So it's kind of cool how it works. And so blood sugar things, this is something that we have used with people in the office, especially for those that really, really crave those sweets. So really helpful for the pancreas. So then you have the probiotic, and this is going to be supporting the gut flora, working on kind of restoring some of that gut bacteria. We want the good bacteria in the gut. And then you have Linan B6, and this contains some of those flaxseed oil to help with healthy skin, nerve, and cognitive function. So again, these are some products that occasionally we may add to somebody's purification program. So I don't know that this has also been updated either because we've got the other kits that have come in with the veggie ones. So I'm not sure that this got updated or not, but we will find out. So we have the different kits depending on, so what the kits look like is you're going to get 2 of the shakes, you're going to get 2 of the fibers, and you're going to get 1 cleanse and 1 green food plus the guide. And so the cost breaks down kind of depending on basically what fiber and what shake you are buying. So that's kind of where all these different ones are coming in. And so that obviously has not been updated to the veggie ones too. So we have to add another whole slide in there to do the veggie ones. So what it looks like is that the first 10 days, now this has been modified over the last 2 to 6 months as well. So when this first came out, ideally in the first 10 days, what they had suggested is that they really don't even want you eating a lot of meat. Now, for most people, that's a little hardcore. And the reason that they didn't originally want you doing that is that it would give the liver a little bit of a break and not having to work so hard. So they would, go more or unlimited organic fruits and vegetables, but you, particularly the green leafy vegetables, and you want twice as many vegetables as fruit. And then your legumes, your green beans, your peas, your lentils, your quinoa, maybe some raw seeds, that type of thing. And then obviously water, some high quality oils, and then you're doing your shakes. Now, for some people, that's realistic. Now, we've had some people, they need to have some of that clean, lean meat in here in the beginning. And you know what? To be honest, you're still going to see results, even if you have some clean, lean meat that you see listed here under days 11 through 21. So this is going to be more of your fish, your lean meats, some of your chicken, poultry. And again, if you're able to find and be able to afford organic on the meats as well, is obviously a better option. Now, it's still advised that in addition to doing this, you're still doing some high quality oils and getting some exercise, 3 to 4 or more days a week. So a couple things that they ideally want you to avoid when you're doing this 21-day purification is avoiding some of those unhealthy fats. So some of those unhealthy fats are going to be margarine, some of those spreads like margarine, the corn oil, the vegetable oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, any hydrogenated oils and the trans fats. So those are some things to kind of avoid. Now, ideally, you're also not going to be doing caffeine or alcohol, and coffee, tobacco, or other stimulants are also not recommended. Obviously, the sugar-sweetened beverage is not a recommendation either. And now on this slide, it also says nuts, beans, dairy, and grains. So a bigger emphasis on the dairy and the grains and beans. And so oftentimes when somebody's doing this, you're going to go kind of clean things up for a little bit, and then we can start adding a few of these things back in there. Obviously, you're staying away from the processed refined foods. So during the 21 days, other than the shakes and your supplements, nothing else should really come out of a box for the most part. So you want it to be real food. If you're adding like a coconut oil or something like that, some of your healthier oils, then yes, there might be a container that it's in. But again, you really have to work at, what are we doing when we're at the grocery store? What are we doing when we're at the restaurant? That type of thing. Now, also avoiding dried or canned vegetables or any fruit. And then you want to make sure that especially during 21 days, that you're avoiding that cured, smoked, or even some of that lunch meat type of thing, especially if you don't know how it's been processed. So what does it look like with the supplements? And so the first 7 days, you're going to do 2 to 3 shakes a day. And now, if you are using like the veggie or the chocolate vanilla, you're usually going to have about 4 scoops to a shake versus 2 scoops of the dairy-free or the SP Complete. So depending on which one you're doing, you might have a few more scoops. But it's about 2 to 3 shakes per day. And you're also going to be doing 7 SP Cleanse 3 times a day. So in parentheses here, under that statement, you're basically going to go through that whole bottle of SP Cleanse in that first week. Then you also have the gastrofiber. So this is going to be 3 gastrofiber 3 times a day. So 3, 3, 3. Or you're going to do a tablespoon of the whole food fiber in your shakes. Now, so that's the first week. Then the second 2 weeks, instead of the SP Cleanse, you're going to do the SP Green Food. And the green food is going to be 5 green food twice a day. So 5 in the morning and 5 at night. And you're still going to be doing your shakes, and you're still going to be doing your gastrofiber in those second 2 weeks. And so that's kind of what it looks like. Now, also on I think I put this link on our website, and if not, it's also available on Standard Process. So there's a recipe book, so it's called 1 Degree of Change. So the Standard Process 21-Day Purification Program Cookbook. So this is one, they have hard copies. We have a hard copy of this in the office, but it's actually something that you can just go online, and they have it in a PDF form. So you can download it. I think it's about 180 pages. So it might not be something you want to print, but if you want to keep electronic version of this cookbook on your computer, tablet, phone, whatever, then you have it available. And this is a great little cookbook because it walks you through so many different aspects of the purification program with recipes to follow during, and including shake recipes, food recipes, and then even some post-purification recipes and stuff too, as you're reintroducing some of those foods back into the diet. So I am going to open it up here, and I'm going to unmute you guys and allow you guys to ask any questions. Does anybody have any questions? And I can also open up the chat line. So for those of you that I'm currently working with as far as patients If we haven't already tested you, if you were to start this program, what we do is, again, we can test you to see, does your body need exactly what I just rattled off, three times a day, or does your body need less than that type of thing. So we can actually tweak this purification for each individual person that I'm currently working with. Now, we do have a few people occasionally from time to time that want to come in and they're brand new, they've never seen me before, but they're interested in doing this purification program. We allow them to do that, but what we suggest is that they're going to do it according to what's recommended in the book, because they're not being tested to modify the program. So again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me in the chat. You can ask now, or you can probably get a hold of me, through email, Facebook, text, however you want to ask your question. And if nobody has any questions, I appreciate you guys being here tonight, and I am going to wrap it up. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes if somebody does have a question. But thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great evening, and good luck with your purification, and I hope you guys do well. So again, make sure you do that toxicity questionnaire and get a pre-weight and a post-weight, and journal along the way, because that's super helpful. And I'm here to support you in any which way we can, and I hope you all lose an average of 5 to 10, 12 pounds as you're doing this, and feel better, have more energy. Thank you so much, and have a great night.